Have you guys ever played a game where you made a really big mistake, a really bad move, but you found out later that it was actually a brilliant move? Well, that just happened to me in this position right here. I made a terrible mistake. I blundered something, but it wasn't actually a blunder. It was the best move in the position and also a brilliant move. We're going to look at how we ended up in this position and then what the mistake was that wasn't really a mistake. All right, so here's the game. I'm playing against the FIDE Master. We played the Caro-Kann. I played knight to c3, hoping for the main line here. I was going to go for my gambit line, which I teach in my course, which I have a lot of success with, but unfortunately played this rare move g6, which it is an opening, but it's, you don't see it all the time. I just played f3. I just wanted to keep my nice pawn center there. Bishop g7, bishop e3. He traded it and brought his knight out, and I did the same. So I'm just developing. Feeling pretty comfortable here. I have a nice center. I'm pretty happy about this. Now, at this point, he goes knight to g4, which is a bit of a weird move, but it's actually, when you think about it, actually has some nice ideas. Number one, he's attacking my bishop, which is undefended, so I do have to deal with that. He's also unleashing this bishop over here. So now there's some pressure on my knight that I do have to be careful for. Now, when you're deciding where to move a bishop to, a lot of times what I like to do, this is not always going to be the best move, but a lot of times it's a good move, is look at where the knight's attacking, and then you try to find the square for your bishop that controls all of those squares. So if we look at this position, where's the square that my bishop can go that controls all of these? Well, it's g1, right? Because g1 controls all of that. So that's what I did. I went back to g1. Now, the engine says, it was better to go to f4. It's more aggressive diagonal and whatever, but just generally speaking, this is a nice kind of thing to keep in the back of your mind. It limits what your opponent's knight's going to be able to do because you've got it, extra covered and extra controlled. So that's kind of what I was going for. All right. So he plays e5 and I played d5. I didn't want to unleash this bishop for black, so that's why I pushed by instead of trading and opening everything up. He castles. h3, I'm kicking the knight away, and he goes back. All right. Queen to d2, I was thinking maybe I want to castle at some point, and so I'm trying to get ready for that, and my opponent plays a pretty wild move here. Knight takes e4, and yes, that's a sacrifice. Stockfish doesn't really like it, but from a practical standpoint, it gives black some nice chances. He gets this really nice pawn center, and he's also gaining some time on my knight, chasing it around. Notice he's already castled, I'm not, and so definitely a tricky position to play from white, even though, engine says I'm better, right? Now, I had a nice move here that I missed. If I would have found this move, I think the game would have been a lot easier, but I retreated my knight because I thought it was going to get captured. Stockfish says, no, 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 you can castle, and you're lining up on the queen, and if black takes you, you're going to take here, and you win the rook, right? And you also have this too. So that's what I didn't see. But yeah, it would have been a really nice move. Okay, but instead, like I said, I retreated. Okay, black develops, and c3, he pushes. I didn't really know what to do. I'm feeling like my king is in danger being in the center. So I really want to castle. Obviously, I can't easily castle this way because the bishops are in the way. This way, I'm not really sure if this is going to be a good idea or not, but I decided to trade and go for it. Now, the reason why this is pretty risky is because primarily the c-file. The c-file is open, and usually you don't want your king to be open, right? Also, this diagonal, I have to watch out for. Now, right now, it's covered, but that could change, and this bishop could very easily come here, and then the rook could come over, and a queen, and then this guy might get open if this pawn pushes, and the knight might come. I mean, there's so many different threats that black could potentially have. Anyway, he plays queen to c7, and at this point, I'm noticing these two things, okay? And I'm thinking, okay, I have two threats. What am I going to do? And somehow, my brain just died. I don't know what I was thinking. I played king to b1, and I was thinking, well, I'll get out of this, and then next move, I'll defend my knight. But it's like, wait, what do you mean next move, Nelson? It's black's turn. He just took my knight. And I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I'm going to defend it next. I don't get two moves in a row. So I don't know what I was thinking. I don't. But it turns out that this move that I blundered was actually a brilliant move. Let me show you. All right, so I just jumped over to the game review and I put on the evaluation so you can see the, the evaluations of the moves. Stockfish doesn't like that move, but watch what happens when I played king to b1. Ready for this? Boom. It's a brilliant move. Now, why is it a brilliant move? Queen takes. What do you think the reason is that Stockfish says, number one, this is a brilliant move, and number two, it's a mistake that the queen takes the knight? What could I have possibly had hiding in this position? Well, if you had a chance to pause and look at that, there's actually a queen trap available, and luckily enough for me, I saw it in the game, which is funny because a lot of times when you make a bad move, even if it's brilliant, you don't realize why it's brilliant, right? You think, "Oh, I just messed up," which is what I was thinking. I was thinking like, "I can't believe I just lost my knight for free." But thankfully, I kept looking and I found bishop to h7. I'm sorry, bishop to h2. It's a queen trap because look at this. The bishop covers the entire diagonal. The knight controls this square. The pawn controls this square. The knight controls this square. This is defended. This is defended. This is defended by the pawn. This is defended by the pawn. And this is controlled. The queen is totally trapped. Totally trapped. It's incredible. And black has no way to save the queen. He tried to check, and I just moved over, and then he gave up the queen for the bishop because I was going to take it next move, right? So, yeah, I mean, total blunder. I had no, brain just died, right? Like, here, take my knight and I'll defend it next move. What was I thinking? And yet there's the queen trap. I mean, it's amazing stuff. I did go on to win the game. It got a little messy because of one moment, which I will show you. So I was doing fine. Although this is a tough position. I mean, look at this. He's got both rooks lined up. He's got both bishops lined up. I do have to be very careful. I could very easily lose this if I'm not paying attention. And I'll show you exactly what I mean by that. So, and also we have 40 seconds. Like anything can happen in the last 40 seconds of a game, right? So he goes here, he attacks me, I have to move. He goes back, okay. All right, all right. And then watch what happens here. I totally missed something right here. Huge blunder. Huge, huge, huge blunder. If you'd like to pause, why is this such a big mistake? Well, if you had a chance to look at that, it's because this move. And my pawn is pinned, so I can't take it. And the other part of this is my king has nowhere to move. It's almost checkmate. It's almost checkmate. The only move I have is giving up my queen, which, oh, it's forced. They added that little arrow. I was like, what does that arrow mean? It's a forced move. Yeah, there you go. Anyway, lose my queen, and now black's actually just winning, but thankfully he had used so much time that I was able to flag him, but really, I mean, I'm just losing now, and I didn't even know what to do. Anyway, weird game. I got the win, but going back to this moment right here, I mean, it was a good feeling to blunder a brilliant move. So anyway, let me know. Have you guys experienced this before? And yeah, see you next time. Stay sharp. Play smart. Take care.